There was barely any traffic at this time of the night. He had taken off his helmet, which was placed in front of him at the tank of his bike. After 11 days of hot dry weather, cool breeze felt really good on his face with a scent of rain and mud. Tiny droplets falling on his face. After a long day he was enjoying this ride. His home was 18 km away from the hospital where he was coming from. One of his friend's uncle needed urgent blood, so there he was returning home with a bit of fatigue and 450 milliliters less blood in his veins. At a distance he saw a car almost in the middle of the road not moving. He slowed his pace and stopped his bike beside the car. When he looked inside, there was a girl, trying to start the car, her hands at the ignition. When she looked at him she almost jumped with fear. "Your car is in the middle of the road, traffic is very fast at this time of night, someone can collide with you. I am unable to start it. I will push it from behind, just take it to the side of the road." "Okay. All right." He parked his bike at the side of the road and came back behind the car and pushed it. They took the car to the side of the road. He came to the driver's side door. She looked afraid, her window was barely down, so she can hear him. "What's wrong with your car?" "It's not starting, I think the battery is dead." She turned the keys in ignition and nothing happened. "If it is a battery issue you need to jump-start it, or I can push it while you try to start it by applying gear." She looked at him with skeptical eyes and figured that maybe he is just trying to help a girl and not actually here to do any harm. Two persons were coming on a bike towards them and slowing down. For a second he was glad that these guys will help them with the car, then he realized who they were. One of them came toward him and showed him a gun. "Mobile and wallet." He looked back at him thinking, how much will it cost to buy a new mobile? He really wanted to snatch his gun and shoot him, but he was no Bruce Lee. The man looked in the car, pointed the gun at girl and said again, "Mobile and wallet." After a second the man struck him at his forehead with the butt of his gun. He felt sharp pain at his head and everything around him started to move in circles. After a moment, when he found his consciousness, Lee realized the muzzle of the gun was touching his forehead. The girl dropped down the window and shouted, "Give him what he want," and handed over her phone and purse and closed the window immediately. He was staring at the man with anger, he couldn't afford to lose his mobile and wallet. The man got close to him keeping the gun at his face and took phone and wallet from his pants pocket, also the keys for his bike. In the next moment the man sat on his bike, started it and was gone with his other companion and another bike. All he could do was to shout, "Not my bike." After a moment the girl rolled her window down and asked, "Are you okay?" "I am fucking great. I am sorry." He took a deep breath and said, "It's not your fault. There's blood on your face." She handed him tissues. He wiped his face and pressed the tissue on the small cut on his forehead. "Thanks." He felt a fat drop of rain on his forearm, then another on his ear. In no time heavy rain was falling. He stood there for a moment and then the car door opened and the girl was out. "What are you doing?" "Enjoying the rain," she said. They both stood in silence for a moment, in rain by the side of the car. "What do we do?" she said. "I have no idea, we have to stop someone and ask for help." There was no car on the road. "Where are you coming from at this time of the night?" she asked. "I was at hospital to give blood to my friend's uncle." She looked at him for a moment, then she laughed. "I'm sorry, it's just how unlucky you are." "You have also lost your phone and purse," he said. "This was supposed to happen. First when I saw you I was not sure about your intention, now I think you are okay." They both saw a movement from the middle of the road on pavement. After a moment they realized that there was big fat mouse coming toward the car in full speed. She looked at the mouse carefully and as soon as it was near the car she kicked it with full strength like a football. For a second it was visible in the air, then just vanished in rain. She looked around and realized that the boy was standing on her car hood, scared. "Where did it go?" he asked. "He is gone," she said. "Are you sure?" "Yes I am, you can come down." He jumped down looking around the car and rode and asked. Aren't you afraid of them? You really kicked him out. I am impressed. 5 minutes ago you were not afraid when you had gun on your face and I was about to shit my pants and now you are afraid of a fucking mouse, she said laughing. I don't know, I just hate them. She stared at his eyes for a moment. She was having this feeling that she knows this person for a long time and she was feeling good around him despite the fact that her car was not working and they just got robbed. There was a strange but very strong connection between them. You are a strange person, she said. What? He asked. I mean, you didn't ask me yet what I'm doing out at this time of the night. If there was someone else, they would have judged my character, she said. It's none of my business where you are coming from, I just wanted to help and why would I judge you? They saw a car coming, they both waved their hands but it didn't stop. Fucking asshole, she sighed. It's not their fault, they might be scared that we will rob them, there was a family in the car, he said. Well, you were not scared in helping me. My life is very boring, I'm just worried about my things a little, otherwise I'm feeling great after a long time. You know, standing in the rain talking to a girl in the middle of the night on road who is not afraid to kick a fucking rat. This thing won't happen again, I guess. You must be thinking that I'm a crazy psychopath, he said. She didn't say anything and just stared at him for a moment. What was happening? Why is she feeling this strange thing in her heart? Why does she think that she really knows this person? Everything he is saying feels so good. Where does this strong attraction and a feeling of connection come from? I think I should go if you are not feeling comfortable, but what are you going to do all alone? He sighed. I don't want you to go, she said. Are you sure? He said. 100%, she said with a smile. Far off they saw another movement, maybe another rat. There are a lot of them here, I guess, he said looking around. Let's sit in my car, she said. What? Are you sure? Okay. They both get inside the car. She looked at him and felt that he is a bit nervous. Even his nervousness was so adorable. What do you do? She asked. At the moment. Nothing. I'm jobless, I was giving interviews all day today. Where are you applying? She asked. I have not completed my bachelor degree, so all I can do is work in a BPO or find a remote job. Aren't you gonna ask me what I do? She asked. Sure, if you want me to ask, what do you do? I do bad things, she said. Okay. Cool. Can I tell you something? He asked. Sure. I'm the most introvert guy, if there is a level of being introvert I would be at the top of it. It's hard for me to open up to people. Really hard. But with you. What? I don't know, it feels like you are an old friend and I am feeling very comfortable and easy around you. There's this strange. Shit, I'm talking too much, he said. What if I say that I am feeling the same way, she said. They looked at each other's eyes, she felt like she can look into his soul with those eyes. After a moment he started to laugh. I almost forgot that we got robbed. Yeah, me too, she said laughing. Do you smoke? She asked. Yes, I do. She asked him to open the dashboard and find the pack of cigarettes. He handed the pack to her, she took out a cigarette, put it between her lips, lighted up, with a lighter, took it out and handed him that cig, took another one and lit it up for her. He was unable to take his eyes away from her, he was not afraid of anything. He didn't want this time to end. He had very few relationships in the past, he knew how he felt when he first met his exes, but right now the person sitting less than a foot away from him was glowing and he have not seen this light ever. What is happening, why this feeling is so strong, beautiful and scary. He is feeling like he is sitting beside a beautiful lake, it's deep, its water is clean, you can see the bottom of it with shiny things in it. Everything in your existence wants you to jump in it. You are controlling yourself, but it's very hard to stay away. You also know that if you jump, you will drown because you don't know how to swim. He just realized that they have not talked for a long moment, but still he feel comfortable. PL. What do you do in your free time? She asked. I read books, watch shows and movies, that's it, and mostly I am free, so I do a lot of it. They talked about books and movies. Several cars have been passed, but they didn't. T made an attempt to stop them. Can I tell you something? She asked. Yeah. At the moment of my life I have so many complications, I have taken some bad decisions and I'm facing the consequences at the moment. What I am trying to say is that I forgot about all of it in the past 30 minutes. I am having this feeling that I'm being my real self around you, no need to fake anything, it's like I have taken off all my masks and I feel great, she said. This is crazy, this isn't real, he said smiling. Also I feel like that I really know you, there is this very strong connection that I haven't felt before. Someone knocked at her window, she looked out. Bap. Bap. Blood started to trickle down from the bullet-size hole in her forehead and her right eye was just a hole. All he can see was a bike going away with 2 person on it. Going fast. He sat there holding his breath. After a moment his mind realized what had happened. He sat there looking at her. 1 minute ago she was alive, now there was no life in her. After years there were tears in his eyes, he really wanted to wake her up again. In his mind he remembered this story when a prince kissed the girl, she is back from death or some spell. But this is no fairy tale, this is life and it fucks with you. He was thinking that what are the odds of him being here, and in this brief time with her he felt eternity. He never believed in love in first sight, this feeling was not due to sexual attraction and good looks. Fate and universe making their moves, bringing together 2 persons with connected soul and then taking them apart. But for what? To change one's life? To maintain the balance of this world? He had no answer.